Okay, great. So our next segment we're going to do is we're going to be talking about TV shows, right? The TV shows that we were reviewing that we asked people to watch with us, right?
Steve and I decided to start a TV club last episode and decided that we were going to watch a comedy called The Good Place and a drama called The OA.
The Good Place can be found streaming on NBC.com. And you know what?
And Hulu. I watch
do you watch? Do you have Hulu Plus? Mm-hmm. Wait, you can't even go on Hulu for free anymore, right?
No.
Wow. Times really change, huh?
Yeah.
So I watch it on NBC.com.
Okay.
It's only like 2 or 3 ads, and they're pretty short, I think.
I mean, Hulu has ads too, so I don't really.
Even
understand.
with Hulu Plus? What? I thought the whole point of paying them so you don't get.
Although a lot of their ads are like Hulu ads.
Oh, okay.
But
that's not
no,
so
they
bad.
still have ads. So.
Okay.
But they've always had ads.
Mm-hmm. So then, you can find The Good Place on either Hulu or streaming for free on NBC.com, and the OA is on Netflix.
Yes.
So which one do you want to do first?
Why don't we talk about the OA?
Okay.
Land happy.
Okay.
Right? Okay.
All right. So the OA. So you watched the first 2, right?
I did.
I watched just the first one.
The pilot.
Yeah. Man, it is a tough.
It's a weird
watch.
show. It is a weird show.
I think so. I did some reading up on it, and the lady who stars in it, Britt Marling, she and the director of the show, I forget what his name is. I feel like the word Batman is in his name.
Batman.
It is, isn't it?
Batman Glish.
Yeah. They are. This is their 3rd project together. They've done 2 independent films prior to, and it becomes like abundantly clear that like she, for whatever reason, likes to play the Messiah role. And so it's essentially about this girl who was, I guess, kidnapped when she was a little girl, or disappeared when she was a little girl, shows up as like a adult woman.
No. Wait, no. She's adopted as a little girl to these 2. She's adopted from Russia as a little girl to these 2 people in the, I don't know, Midwest or something.
Like suburban America.
Suburban America. And then she disappears. Like they raise her and then she disappears. She disappears as an adult.
Oh, she disappears
for 7 years. Adult. And then comes back. Side note, she was blind when she disappeared.
Comes back with
sight. And like with all these like scars on her back, and like the FBI gets involved.
Yeah.
And like, but she won't tell her parents, and she won't tell the FBI like what happened to her.
Yeah.
And they think it's like all like trauma related and stuff. So then she enlists the help of these like 5, not kids, right? Because
one of them is Phyllis from The
Office, who does sadness so well. So Phyllis, who's a teacher, and then 4 other kids, and the story plays out. The episodes play out with her telling them. What had happened to her and her life story as she's recruiting them to embark on this mission that she needs them to do.
Super weird.
Was it a little bit... So I haven't watched Stranger Things yet, right? But like, was it a little bit Stranger Things-esque for you?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Like, the only similarities between Stranger Things and the OA was that like I had questions.
Whereas you
don't... Like plot questions.
Yeah.
I had
but it wasn't questions that made you want to be like, I have to keep watching this?
With Stranger Things, I was like, I gotta keep watching this. Because it was like, with Stranger Things, the best TV... And movies do this sometimes too, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of TV, like, Stranger Things did this, and Lost in the beginning did this, and Game of Thrones does this, and there are other TV shows that do this. But... they mix in story and plot, and it's not like the plot isn't not the plot. The story isn't so heavy-handed, where like with the OA, there's all this like symbolism, but it's not even really symbolism, because symbolism means like you see something and it like is an allusion to like something else.
Yeah.
In the OA, they're just writing it out for you.
Yeah.
You know, there's like no skill needed to kind of like decipher. There's no subtlety to it at all. It's just like they like smash it in your face. You know, they're like all the, you know, she's like, oh, when I was a kid, I had this dream and I was, you know, stuck in like this glass box, drowning, saw crayons, and then like literally like there's no payoff to it because literally like 10 minutes later you see that it was like a premonition.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, I get it, the story, like the plot, I get what they're trying to do, you know, it's pretty cool, but the execution is really poor. Not poor, it's just, I'm really glad that Netflix gave them a shot to do this, but it's just not like my thing. It's a little too heavy-handed.
Are you
for
gonna
me.
Keep watching it?
Yeah, I mean,
for our assignment.
I think so. I think it's good enough where I will keep watching. But even at the end, it gets super weird because like with the best shows, it's like it makes you question like, wait, what is actually happening here? You know, and then in the show, it's like, all of a sudden it gets really weird and it's like she has like a near-death experience, but then like now all of a sudden she's in like this afterlife-y kind of place, and it just takes itself so seriously. You know, there's like no brevity, there's no like lightness to it, there's no fun in this at all. You know, that was the thing about Stranger Things, which like there were times where like, yo, it got me so scared, Stranger Things. Like, I was, like, legit, and I hate being scared, right? And it got me legit scared. And there were times where it was, like, super tense, but so much of it was just, like, so much fun.
That's so funny to me, because you've mentioned this before, how it's, like, scary or it scared you. And then I've heard from so many people who listen to our podcast and be like, why did Steve say Stranger Things is scary? It's not scary.
Really? They didn't think it was scary?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I thought I was under the impression that it was really scary.
I got mad. I would watch it and have to, like, pause and be like...
But, you didn't think that about the OA? Like, there were parts where I was just like, this is, like... And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that, like, I literally had no idea where this was going. Because I had read nothing about it other than that, like, people... Like, it was critically acclaimed and, like, it's got renewed for a second season. So, like... Going into it, not knowing anything about it, which we can talk about in a little bit with the other show where we know a lot about it going into it, is a whole new experience because you literally don't know where the story is going, what the F is happening. And that was scary to me because there are parts that are like, it takes itself way too seriously. And then there's parts that like, it's just like kind of creepy. And this Brit Marling, like, she's very like alien-like.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So this is like a perfect role for her, but I don't think I not liked it as much as you like or seem to sound like you know.
I appreciate it for sure, and I'm nowhere near close to being like I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm nowhere near that place. It's just that it just kind of missed the mark for me. But
but we're going to continue to have this discussion because we will be watching subsequent
And you
episodes.
said the second episode is
I like the
far
second
better than the first one?
episode a lot more. But I think that's the trick with the pilot episodes because so much of pilot episodes have to be like setting up characters and the setting. And so you're not getting a lot of the moving forward of the storyline. But it's very also... like almost like Lost-esque, like the show Lost, in that like it flashes back a lot to like her life, like in the present, and then back to what her life was like.
Yeah, like the
which
flashback.
is also true of The Good Place.
Oh,
so
that is
we're done
great
talking about
transition.
The OA,
That is a great transition.
Move on to, and I didn't come up with that. I think Mike Schur was like, this is like the Lost of like comedies. So you're definitely further ahead than I am.
I think I watched the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Which is almost like...
a third?
Yeah, a little bit
more.
less than half, but...
Yeah.
I only watched the first 2 episodes. So let's just keep the discussion to like the first 2 episodes-ish. Okay. Because then we'll have stuff to talk about.
Yes.
And then you can talk about the progression, like, of it, like, later. But the pilot episode.
Man. Okay. So it's funny because what they deal with isn't so far off. And when I say they, I mean like the OA and the Good Place, right? It's not so far off, but it's just handled so differently. And so,
I mean, they are vastly different shows of different genres.
Yes,
right?
Super, right.
And they couldn't be any more different, right?
Could not
Comedy,
be
drama, network TV, streaming, like, it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe a little bit of the premise?
So The Good Place is it's a show created by Mike Schur. He's the one behind The American Office and Parks and Recreation.
He was also Dwight's cousin Mose.
No, he's not Mose. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his father-in-law is Regis Philbin.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That is incredible. Mike Schur, go you, man. So it's about this lady, Kristen Bell. I forget what her name is on the show, but it's about Kristen Bell. And she has just passed away. And the pilot starts off with her having just died. And she arrives in the afterlife. And she's in what they call the good place, right? It's like that. It's like heaven. And it's her introduction to heaven and like her neighborhood. And the first person she meets is Ted Danson, who is like the manager of that neighborhood
He's like the architect of the neighborhood.
The architect of the neighborhood that she's assigned to. And the twist is that she was sent there by mistake. She actually should be in the bad place, but because of some
she was a terrible human being. She was
a terrible human being, which you learn in the flashbacks, but she's ended up in the good place. And she's trying to earn her stay and try to avoid detection so she doesn't get sent to the bad place. Man, I love
super innovative premise to begin with, right? Yeah. But a lot of the time when I'm watching it, I'm a little bit like, what am I watching? What is this? What is happening right now? Yeah. It takes a little bit work of your imagination, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To like go there, and to have it be believable. But all the characters are so good. By good I mean like there's like the cast is so talented. I mean I don't not like Kristen Bell. Like I
feel like you don't.
I don't think I love her like personality, but I like the stuff she's done. Like I love Veronica Mars. And I liked her in what is it? Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Yeah. I think she's super talented. I loved her as the narrator on Gossip Girl. Like
she was the narrator on Gossip Girl?
Yeah, she has the best like voiceover voice. But this character seems super perfect for her because she plays asshole really well. Yeah, and like this is a woman who's super selfish and she's trying to redeem herself, but she gets distracted so much from like things that are self-serving. And then so the other thing is that like every person in the good place is assigned like a soulmate. And her soulmate happens to be this like professor of moral ethics or whatever. Like he used to teach that in like college, and like he's the one that's like trying to like kind of like set her
because she eventually confesses to him that like she shouldn't be here.
Yeah, and I love when she confesses to him because like he's just like, what? How did I get stuck with you? It's funny. It's funny.
It's funny. It's quick. It's light.
It's so light. So sometimes like I watch the OA and then I have to watch The Good Place after to like kind of like balance my frazzled brain. But the interesting thing about this experiment for both of us, I think, is when The Good Place was actually on the air, neither of us watched it. Neither of us cared for it. Like I was just like, I don't like Kristen Bell. Like I don't have feelings about Ted Danson either way. So like I didn't watch it. And then when it ended, the season finale, I guess, was so unexpected, or where they took the storyline, that like there's so many articles on it that we read, and then that's why we decided to watch it. So I think you read all those articles, right?
Yeah, I'm not all. I read like a few of them,
so you kind of know where it's.
And I know where it's heading.
So it's interesting to watch this show, knowing exactly where it's going to go, because I think then you're watching it with like, oh, are these Easter eggs that's being planted?
Exactly,
Whereas before, like you wouldn't even think about any of those things. On the other hand, I literally read nothing about the OA other than that it was like Netflix's new big hit, and also who knows if it's a big hit or not because they won't release their numbers. It has like a buzz going for it, but it's not a Stranger Things. It's not like a Westworld. And then to like watch it and not literally like watch in the dark and not know what's going on, like it's confusing and like it hurts my brain.
Yeah, I think with The Good Place, it's like you have a talented showrunner Mike Schur, right? Kristen Bell is really good at playing that character, and then all like the secondary characters, like Ted Danson is so good in this. There's a lady, like her in the show, her character's name is Janet, and she's like the Google personified for The Good Place. It's like you just say, "Hey Janet," and then you can ask her whatever you want. She'll tell you everything.
Doesn't she remind you of like the Progressive insurance lady?
A little Flo, right? A little bit. Because and they even allude to, because Kristen Bell's character at one point goes, "Hey, so like, can you look at my search history, or is this like incognito mode?" You know what I mean? Yeah. And she's like, "Yeah," and and she answered that question, or whatever. But it's just it's so
she was
good.
Like, are you gonna like yeah, and then she's like, I can look up any porn for you. Like, let me know what porn you want. Yeah, it's just so fun. It's really funny.
It's so good, and it also, so like you're only 2 episodes in. I've gone ahead a few more. It always ends. It does a really good job for a comedy, always ending on a cliffhanger. You know what I mean? Like every episode, I'm like it's weird because you think that's how it goes usually with dramas. Yeah. Right. So with the OA, when it ends, I was like, wow, I need a break, But with The Good Place, I was like, oh, I want to watch another one. Yeah. So badly. Yeah. So I could not recommend The Good Place more. It's light, it's quick, it's 20 minutes of just like a good time. And to your point, it definitely takes a lot of effort to be like, okay, this is so... I don't know what is more unbelievable, like the premise or the fact that it got made for TV. Yeah. Yeah. But once you kind of get past that hurdle, it's so enjoyable. Okay. Yeah. All right, is that it for TV shows?
I think so.
All right. Let's move on to our next segment.
Our really quick segment, Obsession of the Episode.
Obsession of the Episode. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to?
I can go first. My obsession of the episode this week is Lion, the movie. I watched it with a fan of the podcast, our mutual friend Susan. Okay. It's about an Indian-born, Australian-raised man. So he was born in India. When he was 5, he gets separated from his family and ends up like thousands of miles away from home in a different city where he doesn't speak the dialect, and because he's 5, he has no idea what his mom's name is. He calls her mom, or what town he's from, and so he gets lost in this huge city. Can't communicate with anybody. And the thing about India, there's so many children who are on the streets, and so he just becomes one of them, and he wanders around for a little bit. I don't think I know exactly how long, but then he ends up getting adopted by an Australian couple, the mom who is played by Nicole Kidman, and this is literally based on a true story. So like when you see photos of the mom, like you get it, but like she has like in the 80s, like she has like really bright red curly short hair.
Is that why it's called Lion?
No, no. I don't think. I mean, I guess I can say, but no, that's not, because if that was the case, it should be just called Ronald McDonald, because like that is what she literally looks like. And Nicole Kidman is such a good actress, and she's so beautiful and classy in real life, but like it's so distracting. Like when she comes to get the child, like I would, if I was the kid, I'd be like, I'm gonna go back to India and to the slums. Like I can't go home.
Not having a clown for a moment.
Yeah. But anyways, it's just in light of what's happening in the world with like closing our borders and like all this crazy stuff. It's about this like, it's just about connecting with loved ones, people who raise you, but also like people who gave birth to you. Like he spends so much time. Oh, sorry. I think I stopped talking about the actual plot of the movie. So he gets adopted, and in college he decides that he's gonna find his birth mom to like let her know that he's okay because she must have spent his entire life wondering where he went, and so he uses Google Earth to do that. And so it's
Does that work? Does that work?
What do you mean?
Is he able to do it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's a true story. So yeah, he is able to track her down, and then he like now I think kind of like not lives a dual life, but like he goes back and forth between his like Australia and Indian families. I think that so there are 3 stars in this movie. Nicole Kidman was nominated for an Oscar for the role.
Right.
Dev Patel has become such a fine actor, and I mean that talent-wise and looks-wise. He's become such a fine young man. And I'm really, really happy for him. I think he's such a good actor. Like, you liked him in The Newsroom, right? Or he was fine.
No, I didn't really watch The Newsroom.
Oh, wait, did you not watch The Newsroom because you hate Aaron Sorkin?
I don't hate Aaron Sorkin. Some of my favorite movies are written by...
Network.
Social Network, Steve Jobs.
You don't like when he directs stuff.
I don't like when he is unfiltered.
Okay. So he's really good in The Newsroom, but like this is, I think, like one of the first roles as an adult, because he made Slumdog Millionaire, which is why he's become so famous. When he was like a teenager, like 19 or so.
I mean, Slumdog Millionaire came out a while ago.
Yeah. He's really good in Slumdog, but this role, like you can kind of see it, like how he's grown, and so he's nominated for Best Supporting Actor here, and he's the only Asian person to be nominated for an acting. No, this year. Okay. So Oscars may not be so white, but Oscars are pretty black and white. So Dev Patel is the brown card or the yellow card. I don't know.
The Asia card.
The Asia card. And then the real scene stealer here is the 5-year-old that plays
the young him.
His name's like Sunny Pawar, and he like they auditioned like thousands of kids, and he like got chosen, and he had never been on a plane ride before like this movie, and now he's like he's just doing his thing, and he's really, really good for someone who's like never acted.
Imagine if they'd gotten the young kid from Slumdog Millionaire, and it was just like the same
kid. Yeah, except the kid's no longer a kid.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's so long.
I will say it's a very emotionally pandering film. It totally knows that's what it is, and there are specific scenes where like literally the entire theater that we were in, like it's a symphony of sniffles. So it is those types of films, but I think it has a hopefulness and a lightness in the way that I think a lot of us need right now, so I would highly recommend it.
You watched it right before we went to Applebee's.
Yes, I saw you. I was coming back, and then I ran into Steve and his fiance, and they were like, "Do you want to go to Applebee's?" And I was like, "I don't eat after 10." Like, I was so obnoxious about it. I was like, "Bye."
We waited until 10 because it's half off Applebee's.
Yeah.
It's so good.
So funny. Wait, do you wait until 10, or you like get there, start driving at like 9:45?
No, we planned on leaving at like 9:50, 9:55 so we could get there at like 10:05.
Because you don't want to be that person. Like, get there at 10.
Exactly. We don't want to get there too early, We don't want to get there at 9:55 and be like, we'll wait 10 minutes to order. We'll wait 5 minutes to order.
So funny. Okay.
My obsession in the episode was the SNL cold open. No, it wasn't the cold opening. It was the SNL skit where Melissa McCarthy makes a cameo as Sean Spicer, White House press secretary.
It is so genius.
She nails it.
But whoever thought of that even casting?
Like who? So is it something that like she thinks of, or is it something that like SNL?
I think the head writer of the new head writer of SNL.
He's the guy that does Weekend Update.
So Colin Jost used to be the head writer, but he left head writing to focus on Weekend Update.
Oh,
so there's a new head writer, and I think he's the one who came up with it.
So good.
And it's just like.
At first I was like, oh, I could see like the physical kind of, and then I quickly realized, oh no, it's much more than that.
It is so good. I'm sure by now everybody's seen it, but if you haven't, you have to watch it.
Please just Google Melissa McCarthy, Sean Spicer, SNL. I mean, she
and it's basically
so
the way the real Sean Spicer is.
It's not that much.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's like a parody, and I've read an interview with him where he was, like, he kind of has a sense of humor about it too. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, I don't eat that much gum.
But apparently he chews like 35 pieces of gum before noon every day.
Not only does he chew it.
That's gross.
He doesn't just chew it.
What does he do?
He swallows it whole.
What do you mean?
I mean, he swallows
That's disgusting.
Gum. He swallows gum. And when
people ask him about... Why do you swallow gum?
I don't know. And he says, I've talked to my doctor about it, and he said it's not a big deal.
Because it just passes through? Like
it just passes through. Gum is only dangerous if, like, children swallow it. Oh. Yeah, but adults, like, it's totally fine. It just passes
literally, through. Why do you need to swallow it?
I don't know. All
right.
And
cool.
So it hits all the... It's so funny. Like, she went at the one point where she picks up the podium and starts, like, assaulting people with it. It's great. Or when she does the... She's like, let me, like, explain it to you, and she's got props.
The visuals. The moose lamp.
Oh, man. It's so good.
Deterred.
Just all of it was so good. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's definitely... Because, after a while, the Alec Baldwin Trump stuff gets... I don't want to say
I didn't love the cold opening.
I don't want to say old, but it's like... it's like whatever. After a while, like, you can only do the same beats and the same jokes, like, over and over again.
Yeah.
This one, though, it was fresh. It was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah. So that was my obsession of the episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I guess for... the pod... Oh, no, do you want to end it here and then we'll do our other thing after? Okay.
Yeah. So we have some stuff we're doing for the YouTube channel.
So we're going to do another thing for the YouTube channel, but that's it for the podcast. If you want to check out what it is, just go on our YouTube page. It's food related. I'll just leave it at that, I guess. And then so that's it. I guess we'll be back next time. Was there anything else you wanted to...
No, thanks for listening to us, guys.
Yeah, make sure to review, rate, subscribe on iTunes, and to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. So until next time, see you later, guys.
See you later.
All right.